So we're having this discussion again. I told you about Howard Dean before in another video. Howard Dean used to be the Bernie Sanders of the Democratic Party in 2003. In fact, Howard Dean said this. In 2003, Howard Dean, former governor of Vermont, where Bernie's from, he was the Bernie Sanders of 2003. He said this in 2003, if you want young people to vote in this country, if you want the 50% of adults over 30 to vote in this country that don't vote, that do not vote in today's election, then we had better stand for something, because that's why they're not voting. So if you want to inspire, Bernie stands for something, all of a sudden 30,000 people show up in Washington Square Park. Get out of here. All of a sudden he stands for something. People are coming out of the woodwork to vote for him. Just like Howard Dean said 13 years ago. Just like Howard Dean, we were sick of this stuff 13 years ago. We were sick of this stuff. Here's Howard Dean yesterday on MSNB Corporate C.
The big question. We don't know what's going to happen tonight in New York, but if Hillary wins by, as Casey said, a double-digit margin, it probably is time for Bernie to pull the party together. The only beneficiary of this kind of a fight, which has gotten really personal and ugly, are the extreme right wing of the Republican Party, which Bernie has said that he would do nothing to do to make sure to do anything to help a right winger win the presidency. Well, now he's got to make good on that pledge for the sake of the country.
So, Governor, am I understanding you correctly? Are you saying that Bernie Sanders should drop out if he loses big tonight?
I'm saying, no, I don't think he has to drop out. I think he's going to want to make his speech at the convention and so forth and so on. But I think he's got to tone down the rhetoric. This is bitter. His supporters are, many of them, not I don't think the majority, but there are a lot of them. I'm getting all this stuff on Twitter and Facebook. You know, it's just not helpful to do this. It polarizes people. It weakens the left. It weakens progressives. It's not good for the country. So I don't expect him to drop out, and I think he has a right.
So I'm going to take a couple of things there. Of course, Bernie's got to tone. He's got to tone it down. And by tone it down, what does he mean, tone it down? Stop pointing out that she's a bought politician. Stop pointing out that she's the poster child for what's wrong with politics today. Would you please drop the tone? I'm going to say it again. Here we are in mid-April. Hillary Clinton still has no message. There's no message. Right now, she says she's a progressive who can get things done. Barack Obama can't even get a Republican nominated to the Supreme Court. But somehow Hillary's going to get progressive stuff done. And Bernie's the only one who can't do anything.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, but Bernie doesn't have any details about his message. At least Hillary has a lot of details about how she doesn't have any message.
Yes, all those.
And that's working out for her.
I love how he says that this is going to hurt progressives. This is going to hurt progressives. If Bernie keeps pointing out what's wrong with politics, this is going to hurt progressives. You know what's going to hurt progressives, Howard? When your party standard bearer voted for the Iraq War. When your party standard bearer pushed TPP at least 40 times publicly. NAFTA. Do I need to go on? The Patriot Act. How about maybe voting for the Patriot Act would be something that would be hurting progressives? You think maybe, I wrote down a bunch of stuff. How about NAFTA? How about gay marriage until 2013? You know what else hurts progressives? How about being to the right of Attila the Hun on Israel? How about that? Maybe that hurts progressives? No? Her being in bed with Benjamin Netanyahu? No?
I don't know. I find even the chyron that they have, former Governor Howard Dean, Democrat of Vermont, Hillary Clinton supporter, I find that rather misleading. What's his current position? What is he currently involved with? Isn't he?
So he works for Denton. And who is Denton? They're one of the biggest lobbying law firms in the world. Denton. So he works for them. And then if you say, hey, you're a lobbyist, he says, that's a lie. I'm not a lobbyist. All I know is he used to be for universal single-payer health care, and then he started taking money from insurance corporations, and he's no longer for that.
And I think it's interesting. What's the big deal if the Democratic Party is arguing with each other? Because we're trying to make progress.
Yes.
You can't make progress with consensus. You have to have disagreements. There's going to be conflict, and conflict on Facebook
conflict?
and social media. Oh my!
Isn't it funny that you never hear Bernie Sanders people saying, "Hey, Hillary's got to tone it down because he won't be able to beat Trump if you don't stop hurting him. He'll crush Trump." You say whatever you want, Hillary, about Bernie Sanders. He's going to crush Ted Cruz. He's going to crush Trump. You know who has a problem beating those people? You know why? Because you are bought, and people are sick and tired of it. Donald Trump can turn to you at a debate and say, "I bought you once. You did what I wanted." And she could say, "I didn't." But we all saw her at her wedding. We all saw it. We all know this is true. So he can't do that to Bernie. All the cards he can play with Hillary Clinton. He got no card against Bernie Sanders. And so this guy says, tone it down. Please tone it down so we can elect another neoliberal.
Stop shining the light on her record.
Stop.
Basically.
When he says tone it down, meaning stop shining the light on her record. Please quit bringing up her record.
Fracking, Nancy Reagan, Henry Kissinger.
Nancy Reagan. Frank, this is perfect. They're still doing it today.
Girl.
What's that?
Proud Goldwater girl.
Still doing it today. Bill Clinton wagging his finger at Black Lives Matter. Her dismissing Black Lives Matter left and right.
Well, at least she had nothing to do with the Panama Papers, right?
Her pushing the Panama trade deal. Bernie Sanders screaming against it. And Howard Dean, who said if you don't give some people something to vote for, they won't. Well, you're not giving people anything to vote for, Howard. Here we are implementing what you said 2003, and you're telling us to tone it down. Shut up already, would you? Hey, you guys, grow up and sell out. And please quit giving me grief on Twitter when I sound like a Republican, okay? I hate it when the progressives come at me because I'm being all Republican-y, working for Denton and advocating against progressive positions. I don't get why they're so angry at me. Because you're a sellout, Howard. And if you're not a sellout, sue me. You sellout lobbyist piece of whatever.